Hey there folks, and welcome back to the Dammâseq Campaign. Last time we prepared for a pretty important war for the campaign, our war with our northern neighbor Ebla, and we got in a position with a very sneaky, sort of peaceful occupation through some diplomatic shenanigans of the northern part of Orontosaurus, securing the fort at Charbine, giving us a gateway into the Ebla area, as we talked about last episode. A lot of Ebla cities are unfortified and also provincial capitals, meaning that with a bit of a precise movement, we can actually secure a lot of war score from Ebla very fast, meaning we might be able to pull off a bit of a cheeky war where, as we talked about last episode, we zoom in here, take on Ebla's cities, sack them with our king leading the occupation just to make sure that we get the sack, to fund possibly 2 full mercenary stacks alongside our own cohort, and if we do end up fighting Ebla's army, we should be able to probably beat them with those numbers. And on top of that, we can damage Ebla's territory, and in the peace deal, force Ebla to break their overlordship of Ugarit, and then also maybe Sarakib, if we think that's necessary, get control of Kadesh for ourselves, cutting Ebla in 2 from their holdings in Phoenicia and Ugarit. Those regions, I mean. With these places on the trend towards rebelling, actually, so Ebla won't be able to react to these rebellions very well. And Ugarit might actually come in and take over and fight these rebellions itself, because it won't be Ebla's vassal any longer. And then also force Ebla to release any nations that we can from their territory, especially those that control Eblaite population. So definitely a bit of a goal here of weakening Ebla. At the minute, the plan is not to really conquer lots of Ebla territory for ourselves. I don't want to overextend into Ebla too much. I might potentially, depending on how total the victory ends up being, try to get a bit more of Kadesh. I do not want to enter into Ugarit or Ebla regions at the minute, but I am happy to expand further into Kadesh beyond just the Kadesh province. But there's no guarantees about that. The goal here isn't to conquer Ebla, it's to weaken Ebla. Because Ebla, without Ugarit's support, especially and also without potentially some of the territories that we could release into new nations, should be easier to fight in a more normal war after this. So with all that being noted, let's go ahead and get started here. We got the claim on Ebla from the War Council at the end of the last episode. So with that being noted, let's go ahead and get our army organized. I think we may go ahead and increase the pay just for safety. I'm willing to take a lot of big risks in this war in terms of the long-term situation to make sure that Ebla is dismantled. There are more existential threats awaiting for us in the future, such as Mari, who is moving into the area at breakneck pace. Ursu, north of Ebla, has a very powerful vassal now in the form of their client state, Alalak. And even Jaffa and Moab, although I'm not very scared of them given their populations, are still worth keeping an eye on. But this is mostly about making sure that Ebla is dismantled. We can then go back to our normal expansion and whatnot into Jordan Rift Valley and a bit more into Kadesh. But I do want to address this while Ebla is in a moment of weakness. I am concerned about maybe their king dies and they have a really, really high martial successor, or there's some other reason they get a better martial situation. But their earlier adult king, I think, had pretty good martial, or if he didn't, I didn't notice it. So whatever the case, this is a good time to strike. So we've gone ahead and we've raised army maintenance. I'm going to keep fort maintenance just at the normal amount. I don't think this bonus is worth that much. But what I will also do is hire those mercenaries. Now we're going to hire Garibalid's mercenaries first, so 4.63 per month is expensive, but we are able to maintain that with no problem. These guys are going to come on up to Charbon. Actually, well, yeah, let's, hold on. What's their weight? They have a weight of 4, right? Where do I see their weight? 4. Yeah, we have plenty of a limit around here. I'm just going to have them stand at Fakaha, actually. And go ahead and set them correctly. On to, I think, shock action's probably better. Yeah. Make sure that these things are set up correctly, so probably want to have axemen in the front and then archers behind with skirmishers on the side. Actually, skirmishers behind and then archers on the side, because archers are faster for maneuverability. Okay. And then I think we also hire another mercenary force just to be absolutely safe. This is going above and beyond, but I'm not taking any chances. I've had too many campaigns with a situation like this end in disaster because I didn't, play it safe enough. So we could hire the mercs who live over here. 13 martial is also quite handy. 1k though, not as many cohorts. Because we're trying to ultimately get more numbers on top of having a high martial guy. This guy's 11 martial. This guy's... actually, this is the guy that I just hired. Let me switch to recruitable. Not employed, not hostile. I wish I could sort these by numbers and whatnot, but we could get a 12 cohort force. That's an expensive force. We can still stay in the green, actually, even with everyone raised, which is handy. But I am willing to go into the red temporarily. And I think that, let's see. Yeah, this might be worth paying out. Let me think about this. 12 cohorts, 12 cohorts. This guy costs more for some unknown reason. I guess he has spearmen, but spearmen are just good against like chariots and whatnot. I don't know if Ebla has chariots. I'm not sure about that. But I think we are going to go for this force here, led by Yehilmk. Where does this guy live? This guy lives in Ebla, so that's kind of ironic. So we're going to steal Ebla's... These guys could have been hired by Ebla as well, so this is probably a good thing to do. Alright. Yeah, so now we're basically down to no income. It hasn't adjusted yet, but we will be down to that actual balance once things get raised. Or, not once things get raised, but at this point. And then let's raise our levy and send them... Oh, there's the music. Yes! That's a good sign for this situation. Okay, and then we could go even further and change our law, or change our idea rather, and I think I will do that too. So losing the manpower, sure, like this is a better thing generally, but I think for this war I'm gonna not take any chances here. Martial ethos it is. Yeah, that was a pretty big change to our manpower max, but we're not at our manpower max anyways, so I don't think it's that big of a deal. And getting more morale improves ourselves and also our mercenaries quite a bit, so we're really playing it extremely safe here, not taking any chances. I think we should be okay though. And if Shurdagon does die, let's keep in mind, so we'll have a 5 martial leader. I assume women can lead when they're monarchs in this game, or in this mod, but I guess I don't know that technically for sure. Probably, that's fine. She will bring 6 martial for the national effects, so that's fine. Alright, looking good. I already did the War Council and the Omen things. Let me quickly check my cultural assimilation thing one more time. Sorry everybody, this is everyone's favorite part of these episodes, but I just gotta make sure that things are generally going where they need to go. Making sure that every province has at least some assimilation. We're about to get a bunch more slaves, so this will be more relevant. Yeah, I think we're fine. Yeah, we're fine. We're gonna get a lot of slaves from this war, so that will be fine. And let's go ahead on speed 3. Yeah, being partially colorblind, this is not a very friendly UI for that, so I can barely tell what speed I'm on. But we're on speed 3. I had to, like, put my head next to the computer to look more closely. Okay. So if Ebla didn't expect that something would happen soon, now they should, seeing what is going on. Alright. We have a big war chest built up here. So we could actually, in an emergency, disband a damaged mercenary army and rehire a new one to replenish our forces in that way. So that is an option available to us if it comes down to that. We'll have to wait about a year or so for all these mercs to get back up to full morale, but at this point there's not much we can do. Actually, this guy, let's see. Let me move this merc force over to here, and then you come to here, actually. This guy's at full. We could just charge in, honestly, but I want to make sure the mercs are at full morale before I do anything like that. So we keep waiting. This guy's becoming a tyrant. He's been watching my campaign, but he's taking the wrong lessons. He should be paying attention to my plans to attack him, but he's a loving tyrant at least. But yeah, his martial ability is not doing great. So we keep waiting. And I think I even will do reorganization. I mean, that's really expensive. Maybe I won't do that. it wouldn't really have a big effect, honestly, so I think we just wait. Yeah, we just wait. Okay, well, so Ebla has all the advance notice in the universe to see what's going to happen here, but we shall see what they do. If they go to war with somebody else right now, that would be kind of nice, but not expecting that. I guess I could ally with the Mar temporarily just to see if they join the Ebla war, and then I'd back out if they don't do it. But they're at war currently with somebody else, so they almost for sure won't do it. Ursu won't join me in war, these guys aren't available to, and Barot almost for sure won't do it, so I think we just wait. No need for an ally. We've talked before about why that's not really feasible here, so we just wait. I might be able to get away with attacking while these guys are building morale, but I really want to just make sure I'm playing it as safe as possible. Mari wants to trade for precious metals. I think that's actually a good idea. Mari is a good example of somebody... Oh my gosh. Mari is getting attacked by... How on earth is Nabata beating Mari anywhere? Like, sure, maybe Mari doesn't have their forces locally, but... Mari does have 341 native pops versus 44. So I have no explanation for what on earth is happening over here. Mari is not doing a great job. Yikes, alright, whatever the case. Autonomy. The industrious folks of Dammâseq have excelled themselves, contributing their own personal funds to develop the infrastructure of their fine city. We hope this attitude can be mirrored by some of our less loyal subjects. Ooh, okay. Free building in Dammâseq. Could get a granary. Or... we could get 1,000 manpower. Okay. That's looking quite promising. We would lose 500 of it, because, yeah, this is kind of annoying we're getting this event right now. Or I could get some... this is not worth it. The granary, I think we saw before, was worth 80 gold when you sell it. It was either 40 or 80. So that is a couple months, actually more than a couple months now, of treasury because of our expenditures. I actually kind of think that even just 500 manpower is worth more than the gold right now, so let's just... actually, yeah, we're going to lose out on the manpower on the monthly tick. It's going to go back down to our max. But now we're at full manpower, which is nice for when this war starts. In fact, I keep waiting. It's expensive to wait around, but honestly... oh, these guys went to war. Oh, this is perfect! They went to war with the Mar all on their own! Ebla, you goober! What are you doing? Literally, look at your border, you... Oh my god, this may be the most boneheaded move I've ever seen the AI do in this game. Ebla, I have literally like 10,000 people milling around in my border, suspiciously armed to the teeth, building morale, and you're like, I'm gonna attack my neighbors on the other side of the world. Nothing bad will happen in my south. I'm Ebla. Like, what are you doing? And I think this is an Ebla declaration of war, too. They're the first one listed there. Wow, okay, I didn't even need to ally with them. Our Ebla just literally accomplished my goal that I couldn't accomplish for myself on their own. So this is perfect. Ebla's forces will be way over here out of position, so that is ideal, which means we can actually start the war by going straight for Irkata. Let's remember that Halpa is our war target, so that is great. Also, Ebla... where did their other vassal... I think they actually... annex their other feudatory. That's fine, that doesn't really change anything. Now Ugarit's their only ally, or I guess client state. So this is absolutely perfect. In fact, after... I think I might just go to war now, because I want to make sure that I take advantage of this fully, and without their armies in the area, I feel pretty safe. Ebla's probably raising their army in Ebla itself, way up here, probably on the northern side too. So I think we can safely get away with our armies not having full morale. Unless Ugarit is coming through the south to come over here. Actually, Ugarit's not in this war. Okay, so Ugarit's not involved in this war. Which means they might be able to get involved in my war. But that being said, my cohort is bigger than their cohort, just by itself. So yeah, we can get away with this. Alright, the time has come. Declaring war on someone is the last resort of diplomacy. The act of declaring war will reduce the view other countries have of you. Take Halpa. They're going to call in Ugarit. The time has come. Declaring war on Ebla using Wargol. Take Halpa. Here we go. We declared war on the Eblaite regional power of Ebla. Ebla and Ugarit have rallied together. Here it goes. Okay, so first things first, straight to Kadesh. And then you guys, I'm going to just have you kind of follow behind, but I don't want them to accidentally take over. If either one of these guys is on the tile when the siege finishes, I don't get the sack myself. So I think what we're going to do is have you guys come just around to be nearby in an emergency, but I should be able to safely move in as it is. Now, I think we were trading with Ebla, so let's change our trade situation. I think we lost fruit. Actually, we can reach more things now, I think, but we're just going to trade for fruit with Lacarna, get our loyalty bonus back. I'll readjust this after the Ebla war, honestly. And yeah, let's go for it, speed 2. Here we go. Alright. So Ugarit's going to be in my war, so Ugarit will come down and face me, but I'm not too scared of Ugarit by themselves. So I think we have timed this all pretty well. I can use the mercenaries to, for example, siege down forts with no problem, as long as my king comes in and takes over the siege and they leave before the siege is over. But we should sack Kadesh ourselves. Although, do I want to actually sack Kadesh is the question. Kadesh is probably the best tile in the province for the capital. Anab is another good spot, as is actually Kirata. Actually, Kadesh isn't the provincial capital, actually. No, it is the provincial capital, never mind. What am I talking about? It wasn't the capital of the Kadesh nation, but that is, yeah, it's back the provincial capital. I think either way, I do want to fully sack it as much as I can just to damage this area, even if I'm taking over. These people are, I guess, hold on. I guess Kadesh is a Canaanite culture, so these people are my culture group, so I think we don't sack it super thoroughly, but everything else we do sack super thoroughly. Yeah, so let's go ahead and let the looting be gentle. And now what we do is, I think we send these mercs to go work on... Well, do we need to even work on any forts is the question. Not necessarily. Now we can see the war pathway. So you see here this sort of passageway I've talked about last episode. We can reach a lot of places, including a lot of provincial capitals, through the passageway. So next up, we're going straight this direction. I think we should send these forces after my main army. We'll just kind of post up in the area. Yeah, let me go take over these mountain valleys just so we're protected. Then we'll come on down to Irkata and get this for the ticking war score, which will be worth quite a lot. I guess we could run over and grab Harbija with my main army, because we're right here, so that's definitely tempting. I think I will actually do that. Let me go over, and I will be sacking Harbija. Well, this is another same culture city. I guess if I were to, for example, in the peace deal, take Sha'irit, Harbija is probably the best tile in the whole area. I have to think about that more, but I think well, I'll decide once I get there. Also, let me look at the peace deal just to see what my options are. I'm not obviously going to go to peace right now. So I know already that I could take this once it's occupied. Who can they... Okay, they can release a lot of people, so that's really good. It also shows you where it is, so we can look at this in a moment. Cancel Ugarit costs 33 war score, so that is a lot. But this is even more important, honestly, than taking Kadesh, is canceling the Ugarit relationship. I could also transfer Ugarit to me, which is an interesting alternative. This costs an outrageous amount of AE, but it is actually technically a better option than canceling Ugarit. And one that I'm thinking about, actually, I didn't consider that this would be a feasible option, but it's not actually any more war score. The benefit of this is that Ugarit has limited diplomacy if they're someone's subject, which means that they're not gaining more territory. Now, one advantage of taking Ugarit for myself is I could actually, for example, me or Ugarit could fight Ebla's rebellion over here when it spawns, and I could actually give this land to Ugarit, and I could reform Ugarit in their region. And I could have a really, really strong vassal friend who controls the Ugarit area and helps protect me in that regard, and I get advantages from. So making Ugarit my, for example, client state might be a pretty good option here. Can I see what client state does? It doesn't show me here. I think client state's the one that I want, though. I think client states pay you in manpower. I don't know, I'll have to think about that more. But I may end up taking Ugrit for myself. That's a lot of AE, though, so I have to consider that pretty carefully. Although, let me actually go back to that peace deal. Release nation. Okay, so... Ooh, if I force them to release Amatu, that is a lot of territory. Because I looked on the wiki before, and the releasing nations thing, it relates to the claims held by the nation when they were conquered or something like that. So it's not the starting territory of the nation when the game begins, it's like the nation's greatest extent, as it were. So for example, if we were forcing them to release Amatu, I don't remember if releasing them also lets them take stuff that you were planning to take. I would be willing to potentially give up taking Kadesh for a release like this, because that is a lot of the Eblite population going into Amatu, and then that splits Ebla into Ebla and Amatu, and then I could deal with them each separately. We see as well that some of these nations, like Amatu, hold on. Show me the deal, please. I hate when that happens. Let me reopen that. This nation, like Amatu, makes us unable to like release Kadesh because this is the same territory. So you see how it overlaps like that. Let's see. Any others that largely... Okay, yeah, this is core Ebla territory. Ebla would keep their capital, but this is a lot of Ebla population over here. What we'll do is, before we do the treaty, we'll look at the population more closely and decide which nation gives us the best return on our investment. Also, you don't need to control any territory where the nation will be released. You just have to have enough war score to do it, so that's a good thing for us to remember. Let's come on over here and sack Arbija. I think we can just let the looting be gentle, because this is going to be another right culture group location. Our ruler's efforts to influence Gamilla, Ormitba are well underway. Right, so we've seen this event before. I think I just want more stability right now. Yeah, let's go up into 59 stability again. Sounds fine to me. Alright, we're going to have some crazy attrition from him, then we'll arrive here and we'll all be fine. I guess I could also go up and sack Aliyat while I'm over here. May as well. Because once I take it the one time, it doesn't matter if I am the one arriving again later. So, because I'll have sacked it once already, if that makes sense. So let's just do that. Alright, let the looting be gentle. Moving some slaves down as well, and killing pops. So Aliyat isn't a provincial capital, but I could sack it. The population here, what culture are they? These guys are Cottonites, and these are Eblaites. So these guys are going to be not spared. The looting will not be gentle up here. And then after this, we'll come on over and get the war target, which is the plan. Also, I guess the forts are blocking the transfer of things, so we should probably get those forts, honestly. But I think before we do that, we will go over and grab the stuff over here. This is all unfortified over here, so it's extremely free, so we can go get that with no problem. Alright. These guys can just stay here, honestly. I don't think we have... I think we have a little bit of attrition from being in the mountain. Actually, do we? Maybe we don't have attrition over here. I think we have 1% because it's sieging. I think that's wrong. I don't think we have any attrition over here, so we can just stay posted up there, build our morale up. Yeah, Ebla's in serious trouble, honestly. They really screwed up. Yeah. This is I couldn't have imagined this going better, so let's go ahead and just shred this town. And now we'll go over and get the war score fixed, because at the minute we're sort of... The war score is very even because they control their province. Ticking war score from controlling the war target is very, very high in Imperator Rome, and this mod doesn't seem to change it. So getting your war target early is a big deal in basically every war, especially a big war like this. Alright. We're at full manpower at the minute, so we really are doing well. Oh, there is Ugarit. Okay. That is more than I was expecting them to have. 16 cohorts. How on earth do they have 16 cohorts, actually? Hold on. I need to figure this out. This is led by Gizgo, so this is their king, so this is their actual levy. I don't have any explanation for how they have this many cohorts. That is baffling. This mercenary force can run away, and we can catch these guys here. Actually, let me do it like this. These guys aren't at full morale yet. Let me come back to Kadesh and block them in. I'll have to fight these guys, unfortunately. Yeah, Ugarit has a lot more cohorts than I was expecting. I still don't know how they have this many cohorts. This shouldn't be possible if cohort size is just based on levy size multiplier. I've said before that maybe it's also based on happiness, but I don't think Ugarit could have this much more of an advantage. I sort of don't know. This is fine with my numbers. We should be fine even with this development, but I think... Let me move these mercs kind of out of the way just for safety. I'm just going to send them down here to sort of be... Actually, no, let me keep them here, actually. 10th of December. Let me try and get everyone organized together. Okay, these guys won't move. If we can keep these guys where they are, I'd rather move... Yeah, okay, this is fine. This is perfect. So we'll come on over here. It is more important, I think, to get Irkata under our control first. Also, let's keep checking around here to make sure that there's no mercenary surprises happening in our south. I don't think so. I think we're fine. I want to come and sack Akari on the way because I'm greedy, but yeah, because these guys over here, I'm not gonna like preserve the population over here. This stuff is all gonna get destroyed. Okay, these guys are coming in. Can we move? We can move if we want to. I think we should. Hold on. Chandra 20th. This is good terrain though to post up in. But the thing is, this army will beat my mercs, even with their very bad martial leader. So I think we do back up into, let's see here, 30th of December. Let's back up to this, so over the river in the mountain valley. These mercs together, especially with the good defensive terrain, they're in a mountain valley with the river in the way. This area here is untouchable by Ugarit. Or Ugarit can just not move, so we'll move in for free. Alright, and these guys are almost at full morale, so we should be able to make a move here momentarily. Alright. 9th of January, 10th of January. Let's move in together. 11th of January, 12th of January. So these guys will get away, but actually, I don't... Actually, sacking Akari isn't necessarily the most important thing in the universe, but because I am unfathomably greedy, I'm going to go ahead and let my main force arrive there. Okay, perfect. Now I've trapped them there. This is actually, that was not what I was planning to do, but that works out. Yes, okay, we're going to get the fight going, and all of our armies arriving here. Ugarit is absolutely screwed. This is the biggest fight, I think, of the campaign so far, and I think this is going to be a big win. We're going to be crossing the river with one force, but it's a farmland attack, so that's pretty good, terrain-wise. Going to happen in a few days. Here we go. The Battle of Akari. Once our forces arrive, yeah, things are going to turn around. Look at that giant line. Holy crap. Wow. That is it's quite the advantage here. Alright. That was a giant fight. We lost 1,100, but killed 1,700, so definitely a good trade-off. Also, I forgot to organize my other armies, I believe. Actually, no, they're all organized correctly, so maybe I didn't forget to do that. I don't remember if I forgot to or not, but let's adjust that now. Do this force here on development. Okay, so 7th of February, 16 days. I may not be able to. Yeah, let me actually just do this. Let's see, 12 versus 19. I think my mercs I'm gonna send north. What's the fastest way away from here? 2nd of February down here. So so this is very greedy. I'm gonna send the mercs south so that they don't stand here when the siege finishes, so I can sack Akari. And then I'll send the mercs north once this is sacked to go and try and chase Ugarit down. Yeah, because I control Charbin, this is gonna slow down movement around here a little bit. Alright, perfect. And then 10th of February, 7 days. So they're going to get here after the sack's done, so that's perfect. We'll continue going north. Alright, none shall hide. Here we come for the war target. And then the mercs are going to head north and try... Actually, we might follow these guys all the way up to Ugarit, honestly. The Merc army together is very durable. In fact, I might even keep one Merc army here. I think it's probably okay. Hold on, let me think about this. Yeah, these are all free. I think we just go up through Ugarit for now. Because Ugarit is technically hard to reach from Ebla. Does Ebla have access through Alalak? They actually don't, so Ebla shouldn't be able to reach Ugarit except through the south, which means we have a lot of advance warning. They may come and retake this stuff once they're back down here, but again, their army's up here, I think, right now. So I think we're free to just do this. So yeah, we should just go for it, honestly. What? Okay, remember when I said that Ebla had the most boneheaded move ever? They just defortified Kirata. The fort was protecting the province. I can't believe it. This is a contender for the most boneheaded move. They just destroyed. I just saw this happening. I just thought, what's going on down here? Why am I getting control? They just destroyed their own fort. Unless they have like extreme financial problems right now, I have no explanation for a move like this. They just gave me war score for free. So thanks Ebla for that. All right, let's just chase these guys all the way up here to Ugarit directly. We're going to sack cities along the way, build up our treasury. We actually don't even need more money because of how well the war's going, honestly. So yeah, things are definitely off to a good start here. Alright, this is going to be a big war score boost right here. None shall hide. Taking more slaves, and just generally damaging things. Even though I will eventually take all this for myself, in the short term, that's not the plan, so we will just devastate things as we go. Now, I shouldn't forget to spend my money a little bit as I get it. I probably can safely spend some treasury, so let's take a second here to go back over to our core. One thing I might want to do is maybe set up a holy site at Darik. I've talked about that before, or at Rauda. But do I have a god that I'd want to do it for? I do think Reshep is going to be our permanent god for the war option. I don't think there's anything else here that's better. Baal Hadid might be a little better. It's comparable, value-wise. But I do think National Manpower 5% is better than Manpower Recovery Speed 5%, honestly. And AE change as an option is good. So yeah, I think Reshep is a safe deity to set up a holy site for in terms of long-term planning. And where should the holy site be is another good question. Rauda is probably, well, in terms of city size, Nijran and Salkat are actually pretty big. Ain Thakar is growing. Obviously, Dammâseq is our biggest city. I think Rauda is definitely our second most important city at the minute. It's in our very because also Fissure Spring will be a very, very valuable lush core area with all these oases. It looks very desolate because it's in this mountain valley, but it's actually this ultra-rich oasis valley. So I think Rauda makes a lot of sense, honestly. So let's set up a holy site here for Reshep with our gold and PI that we've been building up. So I think this is a good idea. We're going to get a bonus to the manpower effect from Reshep, which is handy. Let's go for it. Alright, so we have the Temple of Reshep in Rauda. So we're in war, and we're founding a temple to our war gods. That makes a lot of sense, actually. That's pretty good. And we do get more temple slots. Also, we're securing the temple for ourselves. I don't know if other people have been building holy sites. Only we've built holy sites in the Canaanite world so far. Again, in this mod, or with the mods that I have. A couple holy sites have been built. Remember, all these holy sites have been built in this campaign. At the start of the campaign, I was playing with a version that I recoded to not have default holy sites. So the AI does build holy sites here and there. It's just not super common. For example, all the comedic holy sites aren't present for some reason. But we do know that holy sites can be built, and they have been built by some people. Whatever the case, we've secured the route of holy sites. So it's 1.25% more manpower. That's definitely valuable. Now, we do have more gold to spend, and I think we are financially safe enough we can spend a bit more gold on other stuff. Perhaps on buildings. Perhaps on training camps would be a good way to spend it. Or we could make Nijran a city. We need more PI for that, so we have to wait on that. We could make Salkat a city, population-wise. Let's see, we have 1 Dammâseq tribesman and 3 Dammâseq freemen, so that's going to be worth a little bit. fact, we can see how much it's worth. It's worth 5 more manpower from here. And that's not the actual manpower, like, treasury amount. I don't know exactly what effect this would have. It's kind of hard to guess, but the freeman desired ratio going up is also good. This is probably a good thing to do. I feel ready to invest a bit more in Kanatha down here. So let's get that going. We're just investing our ill-gotten gains as best we can. Now over in Dammâseq itself, actually I guess over here we could also build a workshop. Get another copy of dates. More freeman happiness certainly isn't a bad idea. There's a lot of freemen living around here. And more slave desired ratio never hurts. We have so many slaves to work with, and we're going to get more pretty soon. We're going to get a lot of slaves from the north over down here. Alternatively, we could also get something like theater for citizen and noble happiness for more research points. We can, of course, infinitely get more building slots from this. There's no cap on this. We can just get more building slots infinitely, as far as I can tell. On top of getting more from population growth, although that is quite slow. 25 per. Getting a theater here will also give us some assimilation in the capital, just natively, even if we're running Borderlands. I think this is probably a good investment, because our capital will eventually be a noble center, obviously. So making sure these nobles are happy and productive, therefore, gives us even more tech. We do have a fair amount of monthly research, but this will help. This is a very long-term thing, but I think we do want to build a theater down here. And over here, we do have a couple of nobles and citizens as well. Definitely not as many. Also, we're at our building cap over here, so let's hold off on that. I think we save the rest of our money for now. Let's keep playing. Yeah, Halpa will transfer over soon, so we're going to get a lot of war score from that. Let's sack this stuff. These guys are just going to try and catch that army as we go up north. Okay, we found an Ebla army. It's a mercenary force. Only 7 cohorts isn't super concerning, but 12 martial is a bit concerning. I could buy these guys off. I think I might honestly buy these guys off. I'm more concerned about them retaking this stuff when Ebla clearly is too distracted to send their own army. So I'm going to offer to buy them off. Alright, they just joined my force. Mercenary buyout successful. The band of mercenaries led by Barak Bal Milkermid has accepted our offer. This is their loss. Alright, so I don't really know if I want to pay for this force as well. But the issue is if I disband them, Ebla will be free to just rehire them. So I think what this force is going to do is get to work, because I'm going to have to pay for them. I'm going to go into negative economy. They're not a very expensive force, but since they're low morale, this is an extremely expendable mercenary force. I'm going to use these guys just to do some sieging. I'm going to go ahead and start sieging down Katna, which is the next fort up in the list. So they're going to get to work on that. Yeah, so thanks for the mercs, Ebla. I appreciate that. Alright. It's nice to see all the planning I've done actually come to fruition. This has been a good start to the war for sure. Alright. Our rampage continues. We definitely can afford all these mercs with all the people we're getting. We lost our researcher. Okay, that's too bad. I think he probably just died of old age, so I guess I don't know for sure. Everyone's basically happy right now, so we can go ahead and assign anybody. Any traits? This might be worth it, but I don't know again in this mod if that happens. Let's just assign a competent, let's see, crafty versus crafty and more corruption for some unknown reason. This guy's probably fine. Himilko, Ormitba, he's also from the Ormitba family, so more happiness for them. Sounds fine to me. Okay, we found the Ugarit army. Where are they going? I'm not sure, but I think I'm going to try and follow them. I don't want them to regain their morale, so I'm just going to follow them. Remembering, of course, that we don't need to control this stuff to get our peace deal that we want. We just need war score kind of in general. We can safely do the war mostly over here and not even really come up here that much. Alright. Continue the rampage north. Can I catch these guys? They shouldn't be able to move through Alalak, so we should be able to catch these guys eventually. Let's just come over here and see if we can catch them up there. Okay, now let's go ahead and start looking at peace deals. Let's reset everything. So first things first, I do want Kadesh. That is not up for debate. That is the entire... Well, aside from the stuff that's not colonized, that's fine. Alright, let me reset this. I want Kadesh for myself. And aside from that... So I need to actually occupy Ugarit to get the subjects for myself. Let me actually back out of the peace deal. Let me see here with just some random guy. Can I see what the client state does again? Client state gives income. Okay. Cost of diplomatic slot, which is fine. Maybe integrated diplomatic. I think this is a change from the base game. Called to wars. Tributary are not called to wars. Tributaries cannot be integrated. They may also cancel the relationship. And they give income as well. I think of the two, one big thing in this campaign that matters a lot to me is actually controlling Ugarit's diplomatic options. Keeping Ugarit from, for example, fighting Alalak or fighting the Ebla revolts lets me fight them more safely without Ugarit getting involved. So having Ugarit be a client state actually has a big advantage in that regard. So if we think about the war score needed, we could actually do this deal right now for what that's worth, but this is less than what I want to do. So we want to take Kadesh for ourselves. Obviously we can't do this one yet. There's not enough war score, but we could do the release Ugarit. I think I will try to... Well, I think having Ugarit be my client state could be pretty interesting. And it's not like I have my diplomatic slots being used for other things right now, so... Because my tribal vassal doesn't take up a relationship that I have down here in the mountains, Kumadu. So I could get away with a relationship with Ugarit. Not to mention, when my king dies and I have my succession to my daughter, she doesn't have that trait that gives her one extra relationship slot, but we still do have one, so we could safely keep the Ugarit client state. Controlling Ugarit ourselves also gives us a lot of power in the north, and protects Ugarit from potentially someone like Ursu trying to get into the area, or Ebla trying to re-enter the area. So I think actually for the purpose of weakening Ebla, controlling Ugarit ourselves as a client state has a lot of value, so I think that is going to be the goal here. So Ugarit becomes client state of Aram. And then, on top of that, let's see here. So we could force them to release these guys. And... Can I see the Eblaite population? Eblaite. It's basically mostly in like this core area here. It's pretty hard to get a direct overlay, but anything kind of in this area accomplishes that goal. So this is too far south, honestly. So not this one. Reset. If I get this, Kadesh to Aram, and then I get that. And then I ask them to release. Can I see it on the map, please? Okay, there we go. Oh, yeah. Could also force them to kick out Byblos, but Byblos is going to rebel on its own anyways. Okay, this is more like it. Tunip is a lot of their core population, and their capital becomes this weird floating exclave in the middle of Tunip, which is hilarious. So that definitely screws them up a lot. This is a lot of war score because this is such valuable land. But if we think about this, right, so like down the river around here, this really is the Eblaite core of their land. That's a lot of cohorts stripped away from them and core population. Ebla doesn't recover from this very easily, that's for sure. So I think that's probably, we're going to go for a goal kind of like that. Again, we can release nations as part of the peace deal without controlling any territory up here. Like this is, like for example, right now, we could tell them to release Tunip, and they would go for this once we had a bit more war score. Like, we don't need to control forts up here, so definitely some good options for us. So, yeah, I think this war has gone basically perfectly. In fact, it's going so well, I wonder if I could even go a bit further than my plans. Maybe even take a bit more territory? I could, for example, take the rest of Kadesh. Interesting idea. I will consider that. The issue is if I can't release a nation that I'm taking territory from in the same peace deal, so I'd only be able to release a nation that doesn't control Kadesh territory for that other goal. Okay, I don't know where these guys are. I'm gonna keep trying to find them. I guess I'll get to work on sieging Kasab, honestly. I guess Ugarit also is territory up here. Whatever. We'll find them. I don't care about sacking Kasab with my main army. That's not that big of a deal. Oh wait, we found them. Okay, we're gonna catch them in Kasab. Okay, this is not a great fight, honestly, although with their morale and numbers, we are going to win this handily. Even the game recognizes this, but they do have the terrain advantage over in that mountain valley with the fort. Alright, lots of slaves sent down to my nation. And now, continue northward. Here comes the fight. Battle of Kasab. Yep, these mercs are going to destroy these guys handily. Good stuff. And then from there, I think what we do... Let me think about this. I only need Ugarit sieged in order to get control of Ugarit in the peace deal. Yeah. But controlling this fort keeps the Ugarit force trapped up there. That being said, once I control this fort, Ugarit doesn't have any more forts up here, so I could get up there and get the rest of Ugarit. And again, Alalak isn't giving military access to Ebla, so Ebla can't reach up here very easily at all. So this is a very safe area to get control. So I think the mercs just start sieging. My army can start sieging down Ugarit itself. Yeah, this was basically... This might be the most perfect, like, actual war in my channel, like, my channel's history, in terms of a war of this scale. I think that I planned this war so carefully and was so safe in my prep that I basically have made no mistakes at all. Like, maybe I shouldn't say that quite so confidently, but this might be the most technically perfect war I've done on this channel so far. Even Amar is like getting into Ebla here. Entire promotion, stability, amazing. We have very, very high stability right now, but not even very much stability trend downward, which is crazy. Just to be thorough, let me check and see. Everything is basically great. Yeah, things are really, really good down here. Gilad's closer to rebellion, but it's still under control. We're working on it. Come up here. Yeah, this is great. Absolutely perfect. Sack these places along the way. We're able to pay for all these mercs. Yeah, perhaps, you know what, honestly, I'm going to go for it. I'm going to take Kadesh from Ebla. I've got the momentum. I have such an advantage right now. Ebla is really in trouble here. So on top of switching my goal from just releasing Ugarit to taking Ugarit for myself, I'm going to take Kadesh too, Ebla. Screw you. Alright, so with that new goal in mind, what does that involve? It involves controlling, what's this place called? The Khatan, Amatu, and Katna, on top of Shairat and Kadesh. That is manageable. Back over in the Peace Deal world. So, let me see here. Who can I release that's not from... Let me try to remember. This is like the border over here. Here we go. Can I see them from this map mode? I cannot. That's annoying. Alright, so it's basically along the river down in that line. Okay, I think I got it memorized. Actually, hold on, I gotta reset the stupid thing. Okay, so if I'm taking Eblaite Kadesh for myself, and then I'm asking you to release... Okay, that includes Kadesh. That doesn't... I guess I could release a nation and then just fight that nation. It's not like they're going to be my vassal or anything like that. I could force Ebla to really get split apart here. This is mostly Kadesh. That's up there. Okay. I think my best bet, honestly... I think I'm allowed to do this. I think what happens, I need to look at the wiki again, but I think what happens is if you do a deal like this, and I was trying to take this for myself, they would actually get it first. So what I might end up doing is releasing Tunip, who does the most damage. I guess I could release more people too, on top of Tunip. Basically people outside of the Kadesh area that I think would cause trouble to these guys. So if I release Tunip, Tunip is 18 more score by themselves. So that's 24 plus the 33 from transferring, or 32 from transferring. So what does that bring it to? 26, 56 war score. That's manageable. And then culturally, let's see here. This place here has a lot of Eblaites. 32 Eblaites in Jaubas. So if I can release someone that takes over Jaubas as well, that also splits Ebla into more parts and further messes them up. Let me look at the peace deal again. Release nation. Somebody lives up in Jaubas. I saw that earlier. Yeah, it would be Sarakib. I could release Sarakib back into existence. This might be the peace deal we go for, honestly. Once we can't grab it up, but once we include Ugarit becomes client state of Aram, this really, and also including taking the stuff down here, this really severely just obliterates Ebla. Because part of the reason why I'm so fixated on destroying Ebla's tag, or like damaging their tag, Ebla, the tag, has the morale bonus on their heritage. But just like other nations living where Ebla lives don't have that bonus, which means they're much easier to deal with later on. We can have a much less hardcore war for those sorts of things. So, alright, we continue along. Yeah, my king really did live to see this final great war. That is pretty cool. Getting his nation a lot of prestige as well from that. Alright, I kind of do want to sack Ugarit myself. Actually, there's one more town on the way. But I'll let these guys finish their siege up here before we get to that. Also, these guys are going to finish their siege over here. Yeah, this has been an amazing war. Absolutely amazing. I was really nervous coming into this war, but I prepped so carefully. Things really have gone quite well. Alright, so now we get the rest of... let me see here. Where do I want to go with these guys? These guys, I think we go and grab Tareen. Tareen is not in our area, but we can get it with no sack. And then I think we come down... I guess we could grab Kazel as well. I mean, I'm not... I guess I don't really want to sack it, so I guess it's either way. Let's grab Tareen for war score, and then go grab Kazel, and then go work on Arbeen with this army. That's the plan. Alright, here we go. None shall hide. Just absolutely... Ironically, our plan to shred Ebla has sort of turned into a plan to shred Ugarit, so Ugarit becoming my client state, they're going to start off with a bit of damage in their land, but, oh well. It's not like I want them to be too strong anyways. Eventually, all these people have to be replaced by my culture and culture group, so we need to empty it out as best we can first. There's some mercs living over here. Start the siege over here. This is a level 2 fort at Ugarit, so it's going to take a while to siege, but we'll get to it. Alright. Could reinvest our money a bit further as well. I think we wait and then we build a city with the money. I think probably at Ain Thakar finally. Or Nijran. Now that Ain Thakar is fully or the area is fully loyal again, I think I will build it at Ain Thakar, to be honest. Yeah. It's actually really cheap right now. We only need 42 PI, so let's wait for the PI and then build that there. Alright. Oh, there's the Ugarit force roaming around. That's irritating, but they're not going to be able to knock me away from Ugarit itself, and we might get a lucky roll at Kasab. Yeah, food shortage is pretty good. Wealthy patron. The city of Salkad has often been overlooked by the wealthy patrons of our capital. Today, however, Baal Karba has offered to spend a sizable quantity of his wealth in constructing a grand temple to someone. Is that for the province or the city of Salkad? The city of Salkad is still valuable, though. That's one of my sort of planned core cities. Salkad. Let's see. This guy gains popularity and he loses personal money. Population happiness in Salkad for 10 years is pretty good. I could get 2 slaves. Or, yeah, let's just go ahead and get a bonus for Salkad. That sounds fine to me. Alright, coming over here. These guys could come down and retake a lot of this stuff, which is annoying, but I can just always retake it back again once I finish the siege up here. That being said, actually, well, I think I might chase these, well, I don't think I can catch them, though. Let's just get these sieges done. I can always retake stuff. Getting Ugarit under my control is the most important target in the war at the minute. Like the capital city, I mean, of Ugarit, so I don't know where these guys are going to go. Somewhere else. 40%, let's see it. Oh, water shortage, though, is pretty good. Get to work on Arbeen. Once we get Arbeen, a lot of the stuff will transfer to us, and we get a lot of war score from that. Food shortage in Ugarit is great. I think once this is done, we send a couple cohorts up to Moreau. Wait, where? Oh, that's not... Okay, I don't know what I saw there, but I think we're fine. Come on, 35%, let's see it. There it is, alright. So, I actually don't know where these guys are going. If they're going for the war target, that's a good idea. I think what we do is, let's send the guy with more forces and higher martial down after these guys. I'm assuming they're going for Irkata. I don't know for sure, but I'm just going to assume that. This guy's going to go up to Moreau and get that, and then back up and join up my forces at Ugarit to help out in the siege, potentially. We'll see what they end up doing. But that is the general plan there. Alright. I think they're going for Irkata, which is annoying, but we can just retake it very easily, so it's not that big of a deal. Yep, that's what I thought. Oratory Advancer. I think our Oratory Advancer died. Let's assign Baltaros Milkramid. Seems like a pretty good option here. Okay. Oh wait, actually they're... Where are they going? Okay. I do not know where these guys are going. They are surprisingly going way away from me. I don't know what's going on, but they're not going to take my things. That's fine. Finished their buildings. That's pretty good. This force I'm going to send down to just protect Irkata, because that's the war target. At this point, I don't think I need this force up here anymore. Alright, more slaves for me. And then you go ahead and come over here. I don't think we need this guy at Ugarit, actually, so let's send this guy down here as well. Once Ugarit's controlled, my main army will come down south as well. But that's going to have to wait for the next episode of the Dammâseq Campaign. Sorry for yet another cliffhanger, but this war has started in an incredible way. This might be my favorite war I've done so far on the channel. Just everything has gone right, both in terms of my planning and the luck I've had in how this war started. We are in a position to not only dismantle Ebla, but enter into the rest of Kadesh, basically, actually literally take over the rest of Kadesh in this one war, a region that we just entered into pretty recently, and generally just become quite a bit more powerful from the thing we're about to pull off here. But whatever the case, thank you all so much for watching this episode of the Dammâseq Campaign, and I'll see you all next time.